Hey folks, this is Rebecca Lane, and this is my faculty explanation for Module 1.9 Cumulative Assessment for Theater Practitioners. So here's the deal with this one. And really, I say this with all of these videos, but if you're looking at these assessments and you're like, man, I don't like these, we're still in the development process, so just change it. Just make it work for you. But here's the goal. So this is the final cumulative bit for section 1. Like, we've divided this class into 3 sections, and this is section 1, the theater practitioners. So the goal is that whatever assessment we use in this, it's giving the students some way to kind of integrate and show their learning for all of these. So that was my process. You get to choose between 2 items. You can choose to do this cumulative assessment original play, or you can choose to do the exam. The exam is going to be, it's a multiple choice test with, I think, 1 essay question, so it's going to be a little less grading on your part in that perspective. The original play, it's a little bit more grading and a couple more steps. However, it's a group project, so you're grading fewer submissions overall. So my hope is that somewhere in there it balances out. And also we've got this theatrical critique, and this is something that's required within the Valencia course description. So this, we don't get to choose whether to have this or not, but these other 2 assessments, the exam or the original play, you can choose your favorite. So I'm going to walk you through one step at a time. So module overview, this is the theater practitioners. These are the things that it's doing. You are going to need to go in here and update this because you have to choose. So theater critique for sure, and then you choose which of these 2, and in your section just delete the one that you're not using. So first, this is what I have written for the theatrical critique. You may change this. If you have a theatrical critique assignment that you prefer, just change it out. But this is what I have put together. So for your first play critique, and in my brain, their first play critique may be different from their second. I don't know. But I'm asking them to watch a play and evaluate on the criteria. I'm specifying these criteria because we just came out of this theater practitioners model. And these are the only things that we've talked about so far. So I'm kind of pushing them to use the knowledge that we've given them. I'm also sending them back to module 1.3, the critic, so that they're really clear on what a critical perspective is. These were introduced in the textbook, so I'm including these. So I'm asking them to find a live production. I'm in this online world, it makes me sad. So here are some resources to find a live play. I think they're going to need to be updated. But the day that I put these together, these were some free live streaming broadcasts, resources for how to find stuff. But I think we're going to have to do a little bit of work to keep finding them resources. They can subscribe to Broadway HD. Also, I think it's $10 a month. Like, in theory, they could bang out 2 of these play critiques in 1 month, and then they could just, like, unsubscribe too. So I think there are some options. Here are the directions I gave them for writing the critique. I gave them a general outline, so identify the play, producing theater. I'm giving them a guess for how many paragraphs it is. A brief thematic summary, so like just 1 paragraph telling me what the play is about without like giving me the entire step-by-step plot. That's one thing that bothers me, is the step-by-step plot that takes 5 pages. So I'm trying to break them out of that. Identify the elements of the performance that support their thesis. So the idea is this is where you tell us the elements that you plan to discuss. So just giving them a thesis. I'm going to talk about the lighting, the set design, and the directing. And then a couple paragraphs that are analyzing that. And hopefully they'll go back to the assignments and they'll use that vocabulary and stuff. And then they'll give us a summary. Word count, I'm asking them to cite the video of the play that they watched. And it's going to be an upload the Word document. I created a rubric. Again, you can use it or not, change it or not. But these are the criteria that I'm grading them on. So works cited, word count, their analysis, their critical perspective, and their spelling and grammar. So that's that assessment. And here we're going into the options that you have. So you can choose to do this. I broke this into a bunch of steps because I find that in the online world, big projects, I actually find this in the in-person world too, but I find that students do better on large group projects if I break them into stages. It also gives me a chance to kind of catch problems before they become crises. So the first step is they're going to put themselves in a group. This is the entire assignment, but this is not, like this here is not what is due first. Right here it says this is what is due this assignment. So these are the submissions that they will make throughout this process. But this is what is due for this. So for this one, they're going to create one Word document. They're going to create a production and rehearsal schedule. And they're going to look at the entire schedule, like for all of the assignments that are due, plus like they're looking at their own personal production meetings, their own rehearsal schedule, assignment submission deadlines. So in this one, I'm saying the director is primarily responsible for submitting this, but the entire group has to be involved. So the entire group, I have this set up so the entire group gets the same grade. I have not set it up so that they differentiate. I think you can do that, but that is not how I have set this up. I'm also in this assignment, within this single Word document, I'm asking them to designate roles. So who's the director, who's the designer, who's the actors, da-da-da. So here's the grading rubric that I've put together for this, and that's really pass-fail. So this step is only worth 5 points. 5 points out of 20 for the project. So the next step is this midweek check-in. So writing and producing this original play, the roles. In the process for this, I have an assignment. I have used an observation play assignment. And it is, I will probably use this assignment, and this is what I will choose to give them. You can, if you have another write an original play assignment that you have, you can certainly use that. This is just what I've put in here. And these are just the expectations, but you can do that. So in this assignment, I'm asking them to submit one Word document. Oh, and I need to fix that. In one Word document, they're going to submit the script, and they're going to submit their design research. So this means that the person who's writing the script needs to be in conversation with the director and the actors and the designers, just so that we know what this is. This I'm going to delete because this production and rehearsal schedule was just submitted in the last assignment. And again, this is worth 5 points. So in this assignment, this is the final video performance. I'm asking them that this be 7 minutes or less. So we're looking at like a 7-page or less final script. And I'm grading them on these things. This is the rubric I set up. Video functionality, it needs to work right away. If it doesn't work right away, they lose points. And we need to be able to hear them. The performance, actors have fully memorized their lines. So I'm not evaluating whether the actors are good. I'm just evaluating whether they did the thing. And then the design and the choices. But again, I mean, this is collaborative. It all works together. So the entire group gets the same grade for this. And then finally, there is a reflection. I've got it stated as a quiz, and everybody will complete this one individually. And I'll just talk you through it. So this quiz, a lot of these are just, did they answer the question? What role did you fulfill? How did the lessons prepare you to do it? I mean, this will kind of help us evaluate too. What surprised you about this role? So did you learn anything? How did you and your group work together? This is going to give us a little bit of, if we need to give extra points or take away points, or if somebody didn't do anything, this gives us a little bit of insight. If you were to do this project again, what would you do the same or different? And then this just goes back to one of those learning outcomes. And also this has the most points here. List 8 of the major roles necessary for a play to be produced and define each role in your own words. So this is the major grading portion, and should be easy enough to grade. So that's that. And that is the entire original play sequence. Let's see, they submit the quiz. I didn't answer anything. That's okay. So here is the cumulative exam, and I'm just going to go into edit so you guys can see this. The exam, right now it's worth 21 points. I wasn't able to get it down much more. But it's covering these modules. It references video lessons, and it really references the textbook chapters. It's multiple choice, true, false. There is one essay question. I set it up so they have 2 attempts. They can take it twice. Here's my rationale. I personally am not good at going back into the computer and opening up quizzes if they have a technical failure, but I find that I feel yucky if I don't. So my rationale here is they can take it twice. And my hope is that they do their best on the first try, and if the computer crashes, they can take it again, or if they want to try harder the next time, they can take it again. But I'm giving them 2 shots. It'll keep their highest score. They're allowed 2 attempts. They can see the wrong answers after the first step. They can only see the correct answers after they take the final attempt. And I've got them only showing 1 question at a time, and it locks after. So like once you answer and hit submit, that question is submitted. So they can't like do a later question and go, oh, I know what the answer is now. So it makes it a little harder. This, I've got it available for a limited period. And so if we go into the questions, you can see these are all multiple choice. Why might theater be considered play? Plays can be evaluated. The essay question is at the end. Imagine that you plan to become a theater professional. Which role do you find the most interesting and why? Describe the technical creative aspects involved in this job. So it's a little bit of that. The questions are all worth not a lot of points, like 0.5, 0.25. This is an essay question, so it's worth 1 point. Okay. So that is the test. So you can choose between the original play and the exam. It just depends on what you think will help and what you think you'd like to grade. And that is module 1.9. All right. I'm looking forward to see how it works for you. Bye.